So I've been meaning to take a break from buying more swords for quite a while now, and while I have been able to tone down, I think, the volume of intake, sometimes there's just something that you feel you need to buy, whether it's because the price is really good, or because it's a really interesting piece, or maybe both. And the package we have here is hopefully both of those things. The price was good enough that I was monitoring the lot for some time until it came to the day of auction. And on the day of auction, there seemed to be very little interest, so I kind of got it for offering price, which is, it's not uncommon, I would say, but it's not the most common thing that happens at auction. So it's finally here, and we're going to see now what is in this box. And of course, as is very common with auctions, it is very possible that what is in here is very far from what my expectations are, that it's more damaged than I was expecting, or that it may not even be exactly as cool as I thought. It may be something fake, it may be broken. So let's keep that in mind as a caveat. I always try to prepare myself for the worst. That is not always the case. Sometimes the listing is very clear and you kind of know what you're getting. But usually on the cheaper end of things, and with maybe non-specialized auction houses, you kind of get one picture and you have to make your determination based on that. And this was the case here. Maybe there were two pictures, but nevertheless, not enough to really be able to make a final determination of whether you're getting something good or not. On the plus side, I feel like I'm improving my unboxing game. So far this is a little less noisy, I hope, than a more careless kind of ripping up of packages used to be in my previous videos. But this also really depends on what kind of padding is used in the box. So, which seems to open actually this way, so towards the camera. So let's see if I can, should be, there we go. Okay. Oh yeah, okay. Same thing here. I think we're close. And there we go. So, box is open. And what do we have here? A different than usual kind of bubble wrap. It's pretty cool. A bunch of paper, no surprise there. I'll just carefully put everything down there. And here we have one pack, two packs, and a third one. So I'm going to move the box away and then we can jump into opening the actual packages. So we have three packages. As you can see, two of them, well, they're all very straight, but one is considerably shorter than the other two. So I think we can safely say there are no sabers in here. But let's start with this shorter one. This was one of those multiple lots, so the ones where you have kind of a bunch of things sold in one bundle. So this one wasn't necessarily my the most interesting part for me, but who knows, I may be surprised. We'll quickly see. So this was advertised as, well, you can already see there's only a tang, so something is missing here. But, and this is something I have not much experience with, I have to say. So I can't say for certain whether the description was correct or not. But it was described as a fouchard blade. And the fouchard would be a kind of pole weapon. It kind of has, I think, it's a similar shape to this, but honestly, I'm not sure this is a fouchard blade, because while it does have kind of a broad, straight blade that then bends into a tip, as far as I've been able to see, it's usually way thicker and more broader. This is a little thin to be up on the tip of a pole arm. But what could it be? I do not know. What's interesting, you'll see here, it does have some kind of decoration. at the what would be kind of the ricasso on a sword. It even has a maybe there's a maker's stamp there, like here in the center, you'll see there. It looks a lot to me like the blade of the Valdese Bedana. That's a sword that is used in the north of Italy, in Piemonte specifically. But it's also not exactly the same as the Bedana, so I don't know what this is, but I'll be definitely looking into it shortly, and I'll let you know whatever I come up with. So this was the extra in the lot, so we'll put it aside for now. Still, it's very nice, and I'm very happy with the fact that it has decorations. It's kind of something to start researching or looking into rather than just a piece of metal, as I thought it may be. Moving on to these two packages here. We have obviously two straight swords. I'll just peek a second to get an idea of which one I'm opening first. I think we'll start with this one, because one of them is, I hope, the more interesting of the two. Let's see if I can open it with some sort of ease. And now we can tackle the hilt area. So I have to say, I'm quite happy with that blade. It's going to provide a lot of interesting research, I think. So that's really good. But now we've uncovered this. Let's see if it's... No, this is... I'll save this one for last. This is what I'm hoping is the highlight of the unboxing. So we'll first tackle this. That's not to say that this won't be interesting. I just feel the other one is more complete. So here we go. Whoa. The whole thing came off. We see a blade, which is slightly damaged, but not in horrendous shape, I hope. So what do we have here? So while buying at auction, when you have few pictures, is something I would not usually recommend. On the positive side of it, it's always a surprise when you open up your package, because you really don't know what you got and in what conditions it may be. So here we go. I'll actually hold it up so you can see it. And here it is. So what we have here is a sort of small sword, but I would venture to say a rather early one, perhaps. It has... Oh, it has some engraved... Oh, I hope these will be able to be... I hope I'll be able to read these. I wonder, but let me get this off so it doesn't dangle all over while I film. But I'll show you here the hilt. It has the typical shell guard that you would see on earlier versions. You see it has the two asymmetrical sizes. It is missing a finger ring, but that's not the worst of my concerns. The grip, I don't know, it looks really interesting. It feels really interesting, and let me quickly show you. Maybe you can see it. It's here. I hope you can see the very modern looking font. It looks like a font, at least. I wonder if there's some kind of writing there. But there's absolutely some engraving and some decoration, which we will try to decipher at some point. Overall, I'm quite happy with this. For being, let's say, the blade is pretty... it's slightly bent, but nothing terrible. Something you can expect. So anyway, not that bad, but let me know what you think. And let's move on to the third piece. And we can now take a look at this. This one, I think, will be the interesting piece. Although so far, those two also have promising, show promising signs. But look at this hilt and tell me if it is not really beautiful. So let's get this little tag off. So look at this hilt. Brass, but highly, beautifully decorated, with a lot of figures and stuff. It looks really cool. It looks really, really nice. But what is perhaps even more nice, and let's open this section now, is that it's hard to time words with the actions of the video, but is that it retains at least part of its scabbard. So as you can see, it is loose here in the throat, so need to be a little careful with that. But this is the first older small sword I have with a scabbard, so I'm really happy with that. You'll see it's missing its shape, unless... Can it be? Missing here? No, it is missing its shape. So no surprise there. But other than missing the shape, the scabbard is in fairly good shape. The leather, I don't see any like red rot or anything. It still has its own throat there, so that's really good. I might take this off first, actually. And the interesting thing of this sword, apart from the beautifully decorated hilt, in fact, I'll just quickly show you the shell guard, the shells here, how intricately decorated they are. But what is very interesting about this blade is that it's marked with a Mefecit zucchini. So zucchini is one of the big names in when it comes to blade making. It's, I think, up there with the various Ferrera, with the different Knecht, the big names that you'll find in sword making. Whether it is or not an authentic zucchini, that's a different issue, because a lot of these names were then faked or used over time on swords that weren't necessarily made by that maker. But I still think it's really interesting to have a marked blade like that on a hilt that is probably later, I would assume. So I still have to do all my research, but let's say normally the brass hilts are a sign of a slightly more recent small sword, as are the small finger rings, which kind of move away from functional to vestigial. So what this could be, or at least this is why I was interested in buying it, is a older blade that was maybe a quality blade that someone felt was worth preserving, that was rehilted onto a fancy-looking brass hilt at some point. So, of course, I'm going to do my research, and we're going to look at this sword too in more detail in its own dedicated video or videos. But yes, so the haul for this video was this wonderful small sword. This probably early small sword. Look at the difference even in the size of the hilt. You really see, I would say this one can hardly be called a small sword in a sense. The grip ends basically where the whole hilt ends on this sword here instead. So a big difference there. And then we have this other interesting fellow here, which hopefully, oh wait, I need to be careful, it's sharp, which will hopefully provide some interesting insights. I wonder, this tang seems long for a sword, but who knows? We'll try and figure that out and talk about it in future videos. Anyway, thank you for watching this one, and I'll see you soon in another sword video.